Amy became fascinated with the power of imaginative collaboration to connect people in new ways. She's co-creator of The Wonderment, a soon-to-launch digital platform for kids where they can use their wonder-based creativity as a currency to fuel social good projects around the world. She loves stories and shenanigans, and stories about shenanigans. Here's Amy.
So I'm going to talk tonight about something that seems like it's actually the theme of the night. I've been so impressed with how much wonder everybody has brought to things I talked about tonight. And this face is, to me, what wonder looks like. This is a face that I've seen on kids all over the world, and I've actually felt it. There's a muscle memory of that face on my own face. And it's something that tells me when something special is happening. This actually happened in a field in Nashville. We call it the Magic Field, mainly because we were there to shoot a short film, and we've got these kids in this field, and something really magical happened. We gave them a few flashlights. They had dandelions as big as their heads, and they just went wild. And the adults that were there, their parents, us, to kind of witness this, realized we'd stepped into something totally different, something that was new and had the ability to change things. And that got me wondering, is this something we can measure? Is this something we can grow? How does it happen? Where does wonder come from? And that kind of has brought me some interesting answers. So everyone from Einstein to Plato to Aristotle has said that wonder is the beginning of everything from art to philosophy to science. And so we've got some big brains coming in on this, and this is actually an Einstein quote on a fortune cookie, so you know that's serious wisdom going on. So what is wonder? Wonder to me is actually the ability to unify some of life's dualities. There's this duality of the awe of the unknown, and then the desire to make things known, the curiosity that happens when we experience that. And wonder is this little sliver, the horn you may call it, that comes in between those things. Now, it gives us a few superpowers. I'm going to talk about this tonight. So superpower 1, inner to outer. So each of us have these internal worlds, right? Mine looks like a giant blanket fort. I think most people's probably do. But we come into this environment where our inner worlds, from a very young age, we're kind of told not to listen to them. We have an education system, and that leads into a business, an economy that values the external above all else, how you fit in, how you measure up, how you meet the standards that this external world is created for us. This internal world, though, is really where the richness that we can bring to the world resides. And this is something that Sir Ken Robinson's brilliant expert on education is talking about. We're really paying a real price for the fact that we don't teach people how to access that inner world and use it in the ways that they learn. And that leads us to the second superpower, which is delight versus fear. So when we meet the unknown, when our world is based on an external thing, and that external world keeps shifting and keeps changing and experiences rapid rates of change that's only accelerating, and the systems that we're brought up in don't teach us that there is actually an internal center that can teach us to treat those things as opportunities as opposed to threats, we naturally grow up in a very scary space, and that can start to feel really scary. But the thing that's really amazing about wonder is it actually is, because it brings those inner and outer worlds together in a moment, it's actually able to transport us to a place where we can actually treat change as opportunity, and we can see the delight that happens through venturing out and looking for things that might lie just beyond what we're used to seeing. And how does that actually affect us? That actually opens up a space where we can become what we see, and that's the third superpower that I want to talk about. And this is kind of where I dive a little bit into the esoteric, we're all connected shit, because mainly it's true. And I think the things that you've seen tonight from every single person who's come up here have shown you that this is something that is real. And there are people like Dallas, people like these people that are doing things whose light goes exponential because they're able to show it to people. A recent example of this for me is Greg Breinberg. He's the director of the PS22 Chorus in Staten Island, and we got to work with him. He came to Australia with us, and actually brought together a group of kids from Sydney and an Aboriginal group of kids from Ayers Rock together to learn this song. This guy is legit. Like, this guy creates a space in his classroom every single day where these kids are free to be what they actually imagine that they are. And this just continued to grow. So this is actually the PS22 chorus singing the same song with these kids in Australia in the Global Citizen Festival in Central Park 2 weeks ago. 60,000 people and millions of people around the world saw this moment and felt this moment. I was there, and it was something really special. So basically what I'm working on is a platform. This is a platform where the field in Nashville, the classroom with Greg, can actually live in a digital space that kids have control over, where they can actually find moments of wonder from around the world, collaborate with each other around creative challenges with that, and use that as a currency to change the world that they see and have control over those things. So as we're building this, I started realizing I needed to gather my own moments of wonder. If we were going to be putting moments of wonder in there, I started just asking people. This is my brother, who I know well enough to know he wears his pen as a fashion accessory. Does not actually even write. I asked him, and it was amazing. He's been my best friend for 30 years, and he gave me a response that completely changed what I knew of him. I got lost in New York and ran into Dave Grohl on the street. And I asked him the same question, what's wonder to you? And he gave me the most sincere, beautiful answer about a moment with his kids and showing them Yellow Submarine for the first time. And it was the most amazing thing. I didn't know I knew who he was. He didn't know who I was. But it was this thing where I realized, like, people are actively wanting to have this conversation. People want to talk about this inner world, this way of being that has to do with the wonder that we see around us. And as I started going down this path, I started looking for that more around me. And I realized, as we're building this, I thought we were building a space for kids, and I thought that was why I was involved in this, but I realized I actually needed that space. I actually needed a space where showing up and creating could actually be enough. And I think that's something we all need. I think that's something we're all looking for. We actually created, out of just this experience of asking random people what wonder means to them, we actually created an app where people can feed into the wonderment system stories, things that are around them, their moments of wonder. So you can use the hashtags on your social feeds. If you have something that you think is a moment of wonder, share it with us that way. Or you can get the app and you can see what people around the world are sharing, and you can participate in it that way and just start the conversation, because it's something that's really important. Thank you.